What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda. The good news, the weekend has officially begun. We are countdown mode now to the game on Sunday coming up against Bournemouth. I put the preview out earlier on. I hope you had a chance to watch it. If you didn't, it is there on the channel for you to have a look at whenever you get a chance. And yeah, as always, I hope you're in good form. Lots to go through tonight. We'll be talking about the Inacio story, of course, and why he's rejected other clubs to hang off for Liverpool. We do love to hear that. We'll ask, is there fair value there, or should Liverpool be looking elsewhere? We'll be giving you some more information on why some of those Real Madrid fans are the most ungrateful gits you will come across in world football. And a few other bits and pieces as well. A little bit more on Henderson. We'll look at the Liverpool fixtures coming up over the next few weeks. And a couple of other bits and pieces as well. But I hope you're in good form because I'm ready for a fun stream tonight. I'm in great mood this evening, so let's get into it. Loads to go through. Where do you want me to start? We'll look ahead to Sunday, of course. And now that we've done the preview, I can talk to you about my starting 11. So if you've any questions on that, let me know in the chat. I don't know if I've missed anything, so let me scroll back to the chat and just see if I have missed out on any thank yous or anybody. I think we're all good. Me, I'm never late, Sergu. Even when I'm late, I'm not late, bud. You know what I mean? But when I'm late, I'm always sitting at my computer. But sometimes I look at how many people are waiting in the chat. Sometimes I look at how busy the chat is. And other times I'm just fiddling around with stuff here behind the scenes, just trying to make sure that I've got all the information I need for the stream. So, Kylian Mbappe, what you said it, not me. I didn't say it. Okay, I said it. Mbappe, where are we at in our heads? Let's be honest, we did a poll last night, and it was one of the most voted on polls we've done on the channel. It was in excess of 3,000 people, and 62% said that they do think there is a realistic chance that Liverpool can sign Mbappe, which is good news, because I'm definitely in that 62%. What's your score prediction for Sunday? Oh, I went 3-1, Brian, 3-1. People who watch the channel know when we play away from home, I tend to, more often than not, give the home team a goal in my predictions. I don't know why I do it. I don't know if there's any real rhyme or reason, or I find it very disrespectful, maybe, to think that we go in there and beat them without conceding. I'd rather I'm wrong and we win 2-0 than 3-1, but 3-1 was my score prediction for the game. Any plans for the weekend? Well, it's my son's birthday tomorrow. Lucas turns 12 tomorrow, so we're going to go out for dinner with him and spend some time with him, which is why I'm taking tomorrow off as a day off. So, yeah, just that really. Then, of course, on Sunday, I'm just counting down for the Reds being back in action. And during that, I'll be fitting in some some Super Bowl, some NFL, getting in those 4 games over the weekend as well. Stop wasting our time on Mbappe. No, I'm not wasting your time because nobody forces it to be here. So if you don't want to talk about Mbappe, you don't need to talk about him, TW74. Plenty of channels, mate, that you can tune into and watch. But I'll do whatever the fuck I want on my own channel. Always have, always will. Don't like it. Sorry, Buttercup. Off elsewhere you go. But don't ever tell me what to do on my own damn channel. Right, what else have we got? Honestly, you think Mbappe will stay at PSG? I don't know, Josh. That's an interesting one. If he stays at PSG, it's like admitting he's got no ambition. Because he's not going to win a Ballon d'Or at PSG. He's not going to win a Champions League, in my opinion, at PSG. And PSG's model changes every couple of weeks. One week they want the greatest young talent. The next week they're bringing in players at the end of their careers like Sergio Ramos. Or they're overpaying for like Donnarumma and wages when they got him for a free from AC Milan. I don't think that project's ever going to work out. And I don't think it's talk sensible LFC footy. Mate, I think it is sensible. And I've explained why. Just because you don't think it's believable, that's fair enough. I respect your opinion on that. But it is sensible. We may have different definitions of what you believe is sensible, but I think it's a fair conversation, particularly with where we are with the Mohamed Salah situation and his contract. So, you know, if this was last year and Mo had 2 years to go and we weren't perhaps looking down the barrel of maybe losing him, then I'd probably agree with you and say it's not a sensible conversation. But I'm a dreamer and I'm not the only one. Right, any updates on Salah's injury? Nah. So I've seen a couple of things start to creep out on social media, but nothing that I'd be willing to stand over with you guys. Nothing I'd be willing to say is true yet. You know, the vibe, the general aura from the journalists and everyone else seems to be that it's probably on the lower side of worrying. So unless we're very much shocked, the vibe seems to feel like it's not going to be a long-term thing. Now, what that means for Egypt and his availability in the AFCON, I don't know yet, in all honesty, but we'll have to wait and see. I think the fact that Egypt's opponents, Cape Verde, I think, in the final game, have already topped the group and can't be caught. You would imagine if you were their manager, you'd probably make some changes for the last group game and rest players ahead of the knockout stage, seeing as you know you've already topped the group. So maybe that will lean into Egypt saying, okay, well maybe we can not take a chance with Mo if there's any doubt about it and not play him and still back the other lads to get the result they need. Craig, who's the source? About which? About Inacio? Oh, there's multiple, mate. We'll go through it in a few minutes. Don't you worry about that. Craig doesn't bring you stories without multiple sources, my man. So look, we'll talk about Inacio, since that is the title of tonight's stream, and I want to repay everyone for being in nice and early. So, two things about this, right? So, it's been reported by multiple journalists that Gonzalo Inacio has rejected an offer from Newcastle United, as he's currently waiting for Liverpool, and then they do go on to say, or Real Madrid, or Manchester United. Liverpool have already reached out to his agents, according to this piece, and say that somebody is going to have to pay the £52 million or €60 million release clause. Now, Liverpool aren't going to do that this month. But, like we've said all along, if, and I don't know if he is or not, but if he's number one on Klopp's list, and somebody else tried to sign him this month, then it will be interesting to see if Liverpool spring into action. But I guess we got to figure out if he's really number one on our list first. Now, we're number one on his list, which is a good thing. But that's one story. And then there's another one, let me just go through my notes, that says Portugal defender Gonzalo Inacio is holding out for a move to Liverpool. That's coming from Ojogo, who are a Portuguese outlet. They say he has a release clause, which we all know about, at £52 million or €60 million. They do talk about other clubs being interested, Newcastle, Manchester United, Real Madrid, but he is understood to favour a transfer to Anfield, and the article says that a January switch is unlikely. And that's good to hear, because he's damn right. Okay, look, Real Madrid would be a pretty impressive club to sign for if that was an option to him. But if you're looking at the others, if you're looking at Newcastle, you're looking at Manchester United, you're looking at Liverpool, I don't blame him holding out for Liverpool. I'd be holding out. Because United right now, where who knows what way that project's going to go. I don't think anybody really believes that Ten Hag's going to be there in 18 months. I certainly don't. So you'd have to look for consistency as well. Newcastle, look, you know, they have a bit of a issue with FFP at the minute, just trying to make sure they can balance their books. So they probably have to sell a player or two before they can free up money to start to rebuild a squad again. So it feels like we're playing the waiting game unless our hand is forced. That's what I take from this. So let's wait and see what happens between now and the end of this window. But if not, but it just makes me more confused. I can't lie, it makes me confused because I can't get away from the fact that last summer, as we all know, he had a release clause that was rumoured to be about €40 million. And we didn't want to do business. And he was waiting and waiting. And eventually nobody came in for him. So we signed a new contract at Sporting Lisbon. That protected his value for them. Gave him a wage increase as well, I'm sure. But it also had a higher release clause in there. And that number is believed to be €60 million, which is about £52 million with today's conversion. So that's where we're at with Inacio, and it feels like we're going back to last summer. So I don't know what, maybe if the Matip situation has changed Klopp's thought process, but even at that, I remember before Joel picked up his injury, there was lots of talk from the journalists that we were going to be looking at centre back next summer anyway, and that Liverpool were focusing on midfield this summer and then centre back next summer or defence next summer. So I don't know, it just feels weird that why wouldn't you have bought him? Even if you didn't need him, loan him back to Sporting for a year. I don't understand why we didn't pay that release clause and save ourselves money in the long term. But look, it is what it is. If Liverpool do go back in from, I fully expect Sporting to hold out for the release clause. But the question will be, can Liverpool maybe get to the release clause number, but a more favourable payment structure perhaps could be negotiated between the two clubs? I don't know. Gvardiol went to City. Yeah, that's... That's a move that I guess he probably went to City because Liverpool didn't have the money to go in for him. But it is weird seeing him playing at left back a lot of the time in that City, or in the left side of that City defence, sometimes at left back. And it hasn't. I don't know. City fans don't seem to be overly impressed with him so far. Well, I'd far from call him a failure. He's very early into his career at Manchester City. But for me, I don't know. If we're going to next summer, I can't help but feel there may be better options for us, and especially if we're looking at that type of price point, over 50 million quid. I don't know, there seems to be better value for me in the market, but we do have the fact that his age profile is definitely right for us. But look, maybe somebody else has an answer. For me, I can't get past the 40 million, lads. I can't. It just seems, again, like we're being penalised for pausing and waiting. And I've seen that a lot in the years with Liverpool. Us holding off, a player goes elsewhere, like Verge, as an example. We were tipped about Verge while he was at Celtic. I think Gary McAllister said it was Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers didn't think that he was going to cut it in the Premier League at that point. Went to Southampton, proved he could absolutely cut it in the Premier League. And then we went and paid £75 million for him when they got him for 12. So there are sometimes I do question why we don't do these things earlier, even if it does mean maybe having to loan a player out. But then again, I'm sure the finances have something to do with it and the account. So, had the money for Caicedo but not Gvardiol. So when you think about Liverpool and having the money, when I say having the money, I guess what I also mean is, and the amount of necessity and need for that position. So we badly needed a defensive midfielder in the summer. When Fabinho left, Henderson left, it was a priority. Can't say centre-back was the same for us in the summer. So I guess that's what I mean when I talk about the money. It was, if you want to go get the very best in that position, where Klopp clearly viewed Caicedo was his priority at that point, or Tchouaméni before him, the club looked like they were willing to spend some money. But when you're talking about a centre-back that's coming in to maybe be, best case scenario, third choice, probably fourth choice, you probably don't have to spend that much money. You don't have to go out and look for 100 million to drop, because it's not the spine of your team, if you get me. If we were looking to replace Alisson or Verge or Mo, you would expect big money signings to come in. What else we got? If we signed Inacio, we probably wouldn't have seen Kwanzaa come through. Maybe. Yeah, that's a very fair point. But in another way, we've still seen Kwanzaa come through, and now we're still going to have to pay more for him anyway. For Inacio, I mean. So I still don't know how it benefits us, other than knowing that Jarell Kwanzaa is obviously, Premier League material. Would you do a little shout out for my boy Mickey Roy, who's celebrating his 8th birthday? My pleasure. Happy birthday, young man. Sure, it's the same birthday as my own son. Wow, that's crazy. Both of them. He's 8 tomorrow, so happy birthday, Mickey Roy, and my young lad Lucas is 12 tomorrow. So yes, have a great day, my man. Craig, do you think Lenny Yoro is better than Inacio? I gotta be honest, Riquelme Anthony, I know nothing about Lenny Yoro other than he's 18 years of age. He plays for Lille and he's rumoured to be worth about 80 million euro. That is the extent of my knowledge of him. I didn't even know he existed, mate, until we were linked with him. I don't come on and lie to you, I could pretend to be a hipster and know all these players, but never heard of Lenny Yoro until we were linked with him. Is the title really true? Well, yes, it is. According to reports coming out of Portugal and Portuguese newspapers, yes, mate. He has rejected Newcastle's advances anyway, according to this report, and he's holding out for Liverpool. They do mention Real Madrid and United, but they say that Liverpool and Anfield is where he really wants to go to, so I guess the ball's in our court in that regard. But as the article also suggests, and as the journalists have said on our side, it's unlikely that Liverpool will do anything in January with regards to Inacio, unless somebody maybe comes in and puts an offer in before the window closes. Then it'll be interesting to see if we do click into gear or not. Craig, what present are you getting your son? You want the real answer? He wants money. So he gets money. That's he's at that age now where, I don't buy his gifts for him and say, this is what you're having. You ask him what he wants, and You know, he's saving up money at the minute. So, and he's doing quite well, to be honest with you. So, yeah, he's just money. So, he's got money from me and Sabrina. He's got money from his grandparents, from his sister. And he's saving it all up because he's better than me, to be honest, which I'm terrible with money. Kwanzaa at right back on Sunday. Why? Why would you not give Bradley the shot? I think Bradley hasn't let us down yet. I don't see any reason to. Bradley knows the role and can get up and down that flank all day. So for me, I'd stick with Connor Bradley. T, thank you, mate. And everybody else saying happy birthday to Lucas. Thank you. Appreciate you. Joey Burton is a piece of work. You spelled shit wrong, Jimmy. Right sentiment, bud. Just not strong enough in your wording. But I'll do it for you. It's okay. I know you were trying to be polite. I don't have to be. I'm not very polite. He is. He's an absolute weapon. That's the best word we can use, I think. Do we still have money available from the summer to take to next summer? Yes. So with us, it's a weird one. Because I know we all like to talk about budgets and stuff. But I really don't feel like we have a budget. I feel like each case is taken on its merits, depending on the player, the value, the profile, and a few other factors that Jurgen Klopp and the recruitment team look at. So, yes, we do have money, but it is a weird situation because we can look at a centre-back who's 60 million quid and think he's achievable, or we can look at a centre-back that's 60 million quid and think that we don't need to spend that much money. But I think right player, there is always money there for Jurgen, as proved with Caicedo. You know, you don't put in that bid unless there's a feeling that it's the right move for the club. So we did it with Alisson. We did it with Van Dijk. Thankfully, we didn't have to do it with Mo because that was a bargain. What was it, 38 million or something we paid Roma for Mo? So that turned into a bargain. But yeah, the club and Darwin, to be fair as well. You know, when the club wanted a specific target with Darwin, we've had to pay. So we paid. Does anybody not want Darwin in the 11 for the game against Bournemouth, by the way? I just want to get that out there because lots of people have been asking me for my team selection and it's gone up there today. My front three is Diaz on the right, Darwin on the left, and I went with Gakpo through the middle. The reason is not because I don't rate Jota. I actually think Jota is going to be more suited to Wednesday's game, so I would play Jota against Fulham and I would play Cody Gakpo through the middle against Bournemouth. I think his attributes will be more beneficial to us coming up against that Bournemouth team. Where is Thiago? Recovering, coming back from injury. I don't have anything else for you on that, mate. It looks like he's closer than by Cecic by the sounds of it. Ian said he's off for a bevy. Ian, my man, have a good one and enjoy. Just before you go, Ian, just out of curiosity, what's your tipple of choice? I always like to know what beer people go for. Would you rather sign Mbappe or a top-class centre-back? Mbappe, Daniel. Because I think our need is more. Like, we have 3 top-notch centre-backs at the club. And I guess 4 if you want to say Gomez for his versatility as well. So I think we need to replace Matip. And I also think we'll need to replace Thiago in the summer. So I think for those positions, I'd like somebody with at least early 20s worth of experience, rather than like an 18 or 19-year-old kid. And again, with the replacing of Thiago, I'd like a bit more experience put into that midfield. So, you know, whatever we think about losing Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, it's a lot of experience lost out of that engine room as well. So there's a lot to be said for having the younger players in there. But sometimes you need that established senior pro in there, which is why when you see deals for the likes of Joshua Kimmich and stuff come up, you scratch your head thinking, could we be in that conversation? Same with Gundogan when he went to Barcelona. Kovacic going back to Manchester, or going to Manchester City. You know, teams need that, and we're going to be lacking it a little bit when we lose Thiago. Do you think there's a strong chance we get Inacio? I mean, I can only go off what's in the media, mate. And by what's in the media, the links haven't gone away since the summer, even though we signed a new deal. But I can't sit here and say to you that I know 100% he's Klopp's number 1 target. I don't know if anybody does. why we have replaced Thiago. Have we? We've maybe replaced him with regards to the position he plays in, but if you look at our midfield options now, there's not a lot of experience in there. A lot of good young players. Some players like Gravenberch and Szoboszlai who have experience, but not decades of experience or a decade of experience like Thiago. So I wouldn't mind us dipping in to bring in a 26, 27, 28-year-old for reasonable money, just for that experience in midfield. What did we say here? Varad said, Thiago, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Curtis, Endo, Gravenberch, Bajcetic when available. If all fit, we actually don't need anyone. Well, we're going to lose Thiago at the end of the season. There's already been confirmation in the media over the past day or two that Liverpool aren't going to be offering him a new deal. So he will certainly be off. This is an interesting one that popped up today that Mark sent to me as well, and I also had it in my own notes. So in Italy, there's a report to say that Liverpool are looking at Ederson from Atlanta, midfielder, 24 years of age. I would probably say we should probably add Coop Miners to that list as well, if we're looking in that part of the world. So, again, I'm going to ask for your help. This Ederson guy at Atlanta, 40 million euros, apparently the price tag. Can somebody fill me in? Because, honestly, I know nothing about him. Weirdly, I have watched some Atlanta games, because I do like the way Gasperini sets his teams up. And I watched them first half of the game the other day. They were 3-0 up at half time in it, and they looked quite impressive. But I was more paying attention to De Ketelaere, who came from AC Milan. I was taking a look at him more than anything. When Fulham gets Andre, I believe they might sell Palhinha. Well, he's been available for, well, I guess the end of the last window and all of this window, Coach Bill. And the problem with that is the money they're asking for him. It's about £60 million, which if he was 2-3 years younger would not be a problem. But, you know, what is he, 28, 29, Palhinha? There's not many clubs that can drop that much money on somebody who is very experienced and very good, and certainly doesn't look like he's tiring or getting old whatsoever. But, you know, if Bayern have pulled away again, I thought that was actually going to be a great fit for him. I thought Palhinha to Bayern would have worked really well. What do you think of Ismail Benacer? So we've been linked with Benacer for quite a while, and I was surprised to learn that he was on pretty low wages at AC Milan. I'm never really overly confident bringing in players from Italy, from Serie A. It's too, of any league that I can think of in Europe, that's the one that kind of is more hit and miss in my head than any other league. By the way, while we're talking about European leagues, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo's comments? I don't know what, he was doing something in Saudi, I think, or some conference or something that was on. And he said that he believes already that the Saudi Pro League is a better standard than Ligue 1 in France. It's not, Cristiano. You're full of it. It's not. It's a slow-paced league with a lot of over-the-hill players and some youthful local talent. But nah, stop it now. Stop it. There's just no way. I'm not believing it for 1 second that he actually believes that to be true. Like, Ligue 1, okay. Probably isn't the sexiest of leagues in Europe, but I think there's a lot of talent in the French league that is stronger than the Saudi Pro League. I don't know where we got that nonsense from. It's just arse licking from Ronaldo trying to ingratiate himself even more, I guess, to the local people and that's okay. I get it. When these things get news coverage, you know, and people are talking about it, it's like almost like they're scared to call Ronaldo out on his nonsense. It's like they raise their eyebrows, but they won't say the words. I'll say the words. He's fucking deluded. He's delusional. He's saying that he thinks better than Haaland, how he outscored him seriously in that crap league. Well, he is better than Haaland, in my opinion. And I don't like Ronaldo. But a prime Ronaldo, or even Ronaldo mid-20s, I don't think Haaland will ever be able to impact a game in the same type of way Ronaldo did. So Haaland's a goal scorer of unbelievable capability. But outside of that, put it this way. I'd have had Ronaldo on my team ahead of Haaland if I was a manager, because and I don't like him, but say what you want about Cristiano Ronaldo, that man was a big game player, and he showed up when it came time to score. He's not deluded. He got paid to say that. Okay, but I don't get paid to have to listen to his shit, so he is deluded. I don't care if he got paid to say it. You know, somebody could pay me to say something. Doesn't mean I have to say it if I don't believe it, because I don't know morality, morals, you know, what you actually believe. So here's something that caught my eye. Real Madrid fans call for Valverde and Modric to leave the club because they voted for Messi. Just because they voted for Messi in the FIFA Best Men's Player Award, the petulant little arseholes that have been part of that Madrid fan base are wanting them out of their club. It's mad. As you won't be here tomorrow, could you please give a shout out to the Packers for tomorrow's game? Thank you and happy birthday, Lucas. Oh, I'll be watching. I'll be watching Jordan Love as he heads to take on Lamar Jackson, mate. Don't you worry about that. And yes, certainly best of luck to the Packers. Go Pack. What else was there? Something else I didn't know about the guys Henderson and Gerrard, right? And this isn't me going in on Henderson and Gerrard, by the way, but I didn't know this until I read it in an Athletic article. So they were talking in this article about Steven Gerrard signing a new deal and being over in the Saudi Pro League, but I didn't know that Henderson's family and Gerrard's family don't even live in Saudi. They live in Bahrain, which is apparently just across the water, but they live in a private gated community in Bahrain. So, does that not say something? Oh, by the way, one more thing, and this probably won't get me in trouble, but I don't care, I'm sick of it. Can people stop trying to make out like anybody who is in any way critical of the project over in Saudi Arabia or the league, or can you stop calling us all racist, please and thank you, because it isn't. It isn't. And if it was the other way around and we were calling you out for stuff, would you like it if we were calling you racist or xenophobic? Because I've seen a lot of it. Like, you can't criticise anything. I'm free to criticise whatever I want. Same way I'll criticise Serie A, the French League, MLS, League of Ireland. It doesn't always have to be a racial undertone to it. I wish people would just stop using that lazy attack on everybody. I watch your stuff too much at this stage. About time I contributed. It is about... I'm only joking, man. Thank you so much for your super chat. All sorts of everything. Why am I singing the song from Sound of Music in my head now? All kinds of everything. Na, 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 na. About time I contributed. I know this Man City stuff is not the topic, but do you think they should have severe transfer sanctions for the next number of years along with relegation? The honest answer to that question is I don't know the legality of what is open to the Premier League and the FA in terms of sanctions. I don't know what is legally available to them or not. Certainly points deductions, possible relegations, I feel like that is, from what I've read, a possibility. I also know that, let's say, for instance, they were relegated out of the Premier League. They don't have to accept them in the Football League pyramid. There is no mechanism in place that gives an automatic right to enter into the Football League. So they'd have to apply to the Football League if they got kicked out of the Premier League, even if it's for a few seasons. So it's really, like, the reason there isn't many answers is because it's really uncharted territory. This is potentially the biggest story in my lifetime around football. And maybe that's because I'm very centric about the English game, and maybe people over in Italy or other countries that have had some scandals in the past may view it differently. But to me, as somebody who grew up, of course, watching Liverpool and the English game, I don't remember a bigger story. I don't. The next, after this, of course, the Super League. I remember the story about Wimbledon perhaps packing up and coming to Dublin to play over here at one point. But this is huge. That's why I don't know if everybody can guess the answers, you know? We've seen point reductions or deductions for Everton. We've seen point deductions in the past, but I've not seen 115 charges before against anyone. If Haaland was at Liverpool, he wouldn't get in the team. Klopp expects his players to work. So while we're on Haaland, and thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot to mention this earlier on, did you guys see that there's a lot of chatter coming out of Spain now that Real Madrid are looking to lean on the relationship that Jude Bellingham has with Haaland and to try and coax Haaland to play for Real Madrid? What do you think? So, what do you guys think about that whole scenario? Do you think it's more likely that Real Madrid go for Haaland, or do you think they're going to continue the project to try and get Mbappe in? Because honestly, bias and anything else aside, I think Haaland's the one they need more than Kylian Mbappe, because they have wide players. If you add an undoubted goal scorer to that, and that Haaland is, whatever else we say, I think that's what they're missing. You know, they need their Benzema. The detective said, on the City topic, Craig, it's going to be tough for the Premier League to prove the charge, as it needs to prove it was deliberate. That's my concern. Well, we did touch on the charges earlier on. We had the list that we went through of them all. And when you're charging people with not giving you access or hindering an investigation, that in itself is a pretty hefty charge before even getting to the point of proving if the other stuff is provable or not. I also don't think that the Premier League would have gone this far if they hadn't got pretty substantial evidence. But do I think the whole 115 charges will be proven? No, I don't. I don't think they'll prove all of them. I think like in any legal case, there will be some stuff that will be maybe struck out or some concessions will be given. The thing that's important for me in all of this, Link's trying to call me a racist. Very good, Links. Very good. The words you were looking for was xenophobe, you fucking moron. But that's okay. I'm here to educate as well as call you out for your stupid, lazy posts. It's uncharted territory. That's all I can say. I don't know what to expect from it, but I would be very surprised if all the charges stuck in any case. Not just Manchester City's case. Egyptian reports say Mohamed Salah will be fit for the next AFCON game, said Ahmed. Well, that would be brilliant news, Ahmed, if that's the case, my man. Yeah, that'd be great news for us, great news for Egypt, great news for the AFCON. What I would hope, though, mate, is that if there's any doubt at all, I hope they err on the side of caution. But I do also understand and appreciate that their competition's on the line right now. You know, they've got 2 points. They could do with the victory to put them through to the next round. So I get that there's huge pressure on Egypt as well, but I do hope that they take a longer term view to it if there is any doubt about it, which I'm sure they will, in all honesty. Haaland did indeed press for BVD. So for me, when we talk about Haaland, I don't ever try to knock Haaland. That's not my intention. I've every respect for the man's goal scoring ability. And yes, he has pressed in the past, but like I say about a lot of teams, I think you can give one player a pass. You can give one player a bit more wiggle room to maybe not have to work as hard as some of the others, because you allow for that genius, that free spirit, that bit of magic. And Haaland can do that in the penalty area, no doubt about it. He's a physical beast, he's strong aerially, and he knows where the net is. His timing of his runs is fantastic. But to get back to the conversation about Haaland versus Mbappe for Real Madrid, I honestly feel like if I was a Real Madrid fan looking at this situation, I'd be praying that they go after Haaland over Mbappe. It just feels like it's from their team what they need more than an Mbappe. Good evening, Craig the Great. Oh, I'll take that. Candice, thank you. Hope you're having a lovely day. Yeah, it's very good, thank you. It's nice knowing that we're back in action on Sunday. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. So, just a quick look, by the way, over our next 6 fixtures. So, we've got Bournemouth coming up on Sunday, 4:30. Wednesday, we play against Fulham in the League Cup. Then we've got the FA Cup game against Norwich coming up. Then we've got Chelsea. So our next 6 Premier League games are Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Burnley at home, Brentford away, and Luton Town at home. So looking at those 6 fixtures, honestly, I think, I'm just adding this up in my head here, 16 points is a minimum that we need to take from those 18 available, because I don't want City closing that gap on us. I want to keep a small buffer where possible. And as good as City are, and as good as the players coming back are, I still think there's points to be dropped all around in the second half of the campaign. But we need to keep ours to a minimum. So I can see us beating Bournemouth. I can see us beating Chelsea at home. I'm worried about the Arsenal game at the Etihad. That's going to be a difficult one. If we can win that, that will send a very strong message back into the league. Burnley at home, let's be honest, we should be looking to do that. Brentford away, it's going to be difficult for 2 reasons. One, 12:30 kickoff, and Brentford away is never an easy game anyway. And then we've got Luton Town at home, and I would hope, because we dropped points against them at Kenilworth Road earlier in the season, that at least the boys feel like they've a wrong to correct there. So, not the worst set of fixtures outside of the Chelsea and Arsenal games. Sent the last 2 months saving packs in the last hours, opening them a no team of the year. I guess that's EAFC talk, is it? I don't really, I'm not fluent in computer gaming talk, mate. Sorry, folks, bear with me. Right. Coming out of Spain, and we touched on this the other day, 2 sources in Spain are now saying about Liverpool keeping tabs on a couple of players from Real Sociedad. We've mentioned them before, Zubamendi and Mikel Merino. What do you think? And Zubamendi is the one that stands out to me. What would you pay for Zubamendi? Or have you seen a release clause for him? And for people coming in about Inacio, don't worry, I'll go back through it again before we finish up. And yes, what we've put in the title is what he is believed to be certainly feeling and putting out there, that he has rejected Newcastle and that Liverpool are the ones he's holding out for. You mean Emirates? Why, what did I say? Did I say something else? Did I say Etihad? Sorry, mate. Sometimes my brain slips if that's the case. I think he has a 50 million release clause. So I do like Zubamendi. He's somebody that I think will get a move somewhere. And you can't but like the way Sociedad play either. They're very easy to watch. But I don't know much about Merino, to be honest. Mikel Merino. I don't know too much about him. I see his name on the score sheet a fair bit. We are always keeping tabs on players. It doesn't mean we'll sign any of them. I get you. But where's the fun in not talking about it, though? So, like, we could do... If I was to do just the actual 100% bona fide guaranteed Liverpool news, we'd probably have about 4 minutes of content a day, because the club keep a lot of things quiet these days. Did you see a beautiful moment, actually? Jurgen Klopp extended that invitation to Sven-Goran Eriksson to come and spend the day Kirby, spend the day with Klopp, spend the day taking a session on the pitch with the lads if he wanted. I thought it was a beautiful moment from Klopp, and I expect nothing less from the man because he is class. And I hope that Sven's able to take up that opportunity, because as we know, not just Sven-Goran Eriksson, but his father as well, Liverpool fan. So it was a classy touch, and I hope it very much happens for Sven. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens there. But just seeing that from Jurgen earlier on, and fair play. Have we spoken about Mbappe yet? Not really. No, not really. We spoke a little bit about whether Madrid should pursue Mbappe or Haaland. And honestly, I've always felt like Haaland would be the better fit. But I also remember many articles that suggested that the part of the agreement for Endrick coming to Real Madrid was that they were not going to pursue Haaland. But now you see articles saying that Haaland's name is getting louder and louder in the halls of Madrid, and they're looking to try and lean on Jude Bellingham's friendship with Haaland to try and get him to come to Real Madrid. And also, Haaland's father himself previously has spoken about the fact that he wants his son, or his son wants to play in all the top leagues, and that he'll probably spend a few years in each league. So I don't know how long the stint at Manchester City is going to be, but I always knew that it wasn't a long-term thing when you seen the release clause put in his contract. I don't know, and I'm not certain that it doesn't exist, but I don't know off the top of my head of many other players at Manchester City that have a release clause. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I've not really heard about many. Klopp is a classy human being. He is, but I got to call out the manager on something tonight, and I was debating this all day, whether I should or shouldn't, but ultimately, I feel like I have to. So, we all love Jurgen Klopp. We can take that as a given. But there are some times that he speaks, and I think he's a bit condescending. And telling us that nobody has any right to basically be critical of Henderson, I feel is disingenuous, to say the least. I think there's very valid reasons why people feel disappointed in what happened with Jordan Henderson. And you can't have it both ways. We can't be told how great the people are and how great their morals are and how good they are as human beings. And then they do something that some of us are unhappy with, only to be told that then we don't have a right to be critical. We have a right to praise them. We have a right to buy their jerseys. We have a right to sing songs about them. We have a right to say how brilliant they are. But all of a sudden, when it comes time to maybe critiquing decisions of somebody, we don't have that right. And I disagree with Jurgen on that one, I'm afraid. Respectfully, because of course I love the man. I will only believe any sign of Craig when I see it on Sky Sports News, pal. It's the fucking last place, mate, I'd be looking to get my transfer news from, in all honesty. If you want to get it later than everybody else, by all means. But for me, I'm looking at your Paul Joyce's for these type of things. Maybe David Ornstein, but I certainly wouldn't be holding out for Sky Sports News. Not personally. Would love a midfielder, but you're doing a great job and wish you all the success. It was marvellous what Klopp said about Sven. It was lovely, Barry, it was. And that's the side of Liverpool I love. That's the side of our club that I absolutely love. That there is a human touch to it. And to be fair, we're not alone in that. Many of the top clubs do have a social conscience. Is that the right word? What do you think about Darwin? So, this is where the hypocrite comes out. Because I'll defend Darwin, and I'll continue to defend him, because I'm a hypocrite. And if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't be defending him, I won't lie. If it was Salah, or Jota, or Gakpo that went this many games without a goal, I probably would be on their back. But sometimes I think it's about how people are built. And I don't feel like criticising Darwin Nunez is going to get anything better from him. He very much strikes me as a get behind him, arm around the shoulder, inspire him with confidence, keep believing in him and he'll come good type of guy. So I admit that is part of the hypocrisy of being a football fan, and we as fans often do have our own favourites and do make allowances more than others for those favourites. Like with Mo, I talk about Mo, I judge him at a different level than I judge others at, because he is a different level. He is standout. He is, one of the best in the world. So I judge him accordingly. For Darwin, I still feel like we're in the potential stage. I still feel like he's done everything right but put the ball in the net. His work rate's great. His running the channels is great. His assisting is being on point. His spirit is unquestionable. So yeah, I'm sticking with him. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Darwin just yet. So far, it's been a slow transfer window. I think teams are being more careful because of FFP. Absolutely, Irish Rebel. We touched on this yesterday when Miguel Delaney said that there's only been 10% of the money spent in the January transfer window compared to the same time last year. And that's crazy, because usually in football transfer windows, like, every window gets, more expensive. But you're right, there does seem to be a bit of a freeze on transfers at the minute as clubs look to figure out what these new FFP ramifications in the Premier League are, what teeth they're going to have. So I think that's a good thing, though, overall. And this is where we could benefit from FSG's frugality over the last 6, 7, 8 years. Captain Chaos is here to stay, a future Liverpool legend, said Coach Bill. Who do we replace him with who do we replace with him in Europe? Replace with who? Sorry, who are we talking about? If we're talking about Darwin, I don't want to replace him with anybody. If it's another person we're replacing, sorry, I've missed part of the conversation. Yeah, in older streams. Again, no idea what the rest of that comment is about. Sorry. So look, if somebody's going to come in and say, but Craig, you've criticised Darwin. Yes, of course I have. And I've praised them. But yes, I've criticised them. And yes, I probably called them shit in a watch along. Because when I'm watching a game, my emotions are heightened and I'm not thinking as clearly as I would in hindsight. And if somebody misses sitters in a moment, of course I'm going to be pissed off about it. Same way it would be if anybody missed a sitter in that moment. But bigger picture, I've always been behind Darwin. You know, overall, I've always said that I think the kid has the ability to be world class, but he has to put it all together. And he needs to start doing it. You know, he does. I hope he has a good end to the season. Would I keep Salah? Okay, strap myself in because this is going to get nasty, I feel. Would I keep Salah? No, I wouldn't. And it comes down to his age and the numbers. That's it. It doesn't come down to liking him or not liking him. I just feel it would be incredibly bad business to lose Mo for free. And I also don't feel he deserves a pay rise. And I don't believe that somebody of his stature would accept the same pay he's on for an extension. I fully believe, like most professionals in that situation, he'd want a pay increase. And I don't think he deserves another pay increase. So I would, if the right offer came in, sell. Yes, I would. Unless he's willing to take the same money and extend. But I think about it this way. We lost Bobby, we lost Mane, and we got very little money. About 30 million quid. The idea of losing Mo, when no matter what we say, we have to admit his best days are behind him. Doesn't mean he's not still great. It doesn't mean that he can still contribute. It doesn't mean that he won't score an assist. But he's not going to be at his peak. And we're paying him peak money. And that's the part I think sometimes people's emotions get the better of them. Sometimes you need an unemotional head making these decisions. And with 1 year to go on his contract and so far no sign of an extension or conversations publicly about the club trying to do behind the scenes or whatever, you can't let it roll into the last year of his deal. You can't let it go through the summer and drag on because it becomes a distraction for everybody. So yeah, I think I would sell him for the right number. But if he's happy to take a pay or take the same pay and extend, I'd absolutely extend them. I just can't have the idea of Mo leaving for nothing. And look what Mbappe did there with PSG. I don't want to be in the same position with Mo where we're in the last year of his contract and we're hearing about him, where he might go after Liverpool, and we're hearing about all these clubs putting in bids for him and all the money he might earn else. It's just a distraction that I don't want. So that's honestly where I'm at. Don't know if that makes me in the minority or if people feel frustrated about that, but that's really what I think. It's better for me to sell somebody too early than too late. That's the way I'd look at it. And 100 million plus is a lot of money. A lot of money. But I'm also of the mindset that I don't think anybody can replace him. Anybody outside of Mbappe, sorry. So whoever comes in, I wouldn't expect that to be able to repeat Mo numbers because Mo he's a once in a generation player for us with regard to those numbers. So we'd have to spread the burden around. Salah is our goal scorer. We cannot lose him. You see, that's just wishy-washy thinking, though. That's just bury your head in the sand and not give an actually thought-out, rationalised reason. That's child talk. And I get where you're coming from, but that doesn't mean that it's going to go away. Just you saying we can't lose them. That doesn't change the fact that the situation is the way it is at the minute. I hate the fact he didn't respond to the selling or not selling. He just played chess. Look, he's every right to keep his life private. He's every right to keep his career stuff private behind the scenes. That is everybody's right. My biggest fear in all of this is, imagine it did go into the summer and there was no breakthrough. And then imagine the summer transfer window shuts and we have no new contract with Mo. We haven't sold Mo, but we know that we're into the last year of Mo's deal. At that point, Liverpool are screwed. They either have to overpay to keep him, like United did with Rashford, or you sit back and read all the stories in the media about where he's going to go after he leaves Liverpool, and it becomes a distraction anyway. So I just don't see past that. And it's not, this could be anyone in this position, and I'd say the same thing. I don't want Virgil van Dijk going into the last year of his contract. I want that dealt with ASAP. I want Trent and his contract dealt with ASAP. And if we got news next week that Mo's extended for another year and a half or 2 years, I'd be delighted, same as anybody else. But if it doesn't happen by the summer, it's dangerous territory. He didn't give any sign he wants to extend. We have to sell him, said Saragu. Mo is on 350k a week. We could get 2 new young players for that, said John Power. Sell Salah, buy Mbappe. Best deal ever, said Rudy Torres. That's another thing that's going on in my mind as well, if I'm being honest with you. There isn't... The idea that knowing that we could get Mbappe potentially, and that we lose out because we're stalling to see what happens with Mo. Now look, there's also the part that you could very well go to Real Madrid. I know, I'm aware of that. But sometimes in life there's sliding door moments, and this feels like one of those sliding door moments. Other people pick up the burden. Look what happened when Mo wasn't playing well. Trent, Maka, Dom, Darwin and Jota picked up the goals. Exactly. And that's my point. Players will come and go, and we'll enjoy them, we'll idolise them, we'll be amazed by them and wowed by them. But ultimately, football clubs evolve, players come and go, the club stays, and that's where our loyalties are. And I just think for far too often we have emotional answers to these things. So as an example, look at the Henderson situation. And I'm not talking about the Saudi stuff here. Klopp went to bat with Henderson, with the owners, going against their policy of giving longer term deals to people over the age of 30, 31. And Klopp went to bat for Hendo and got him a new deal. So if I'm John W. Henry, I'm going to say to Jurgen, well, look how that worked out. As soon as his place came into question a little bit, or when we added some younger players back into the squad, he threw his toys out of the pram and started to feel unloved. So what if we brought in Elise with an eye to the future and Mo stayed? And what if the same type of conversations start coming out again? Except this time it's about Mo and not Henderson. Yeah, I can't get past to say his best days are behind him. They just are. Craig goes out. Please give me a recap of anything I've missed. I will. Give me a couple of minutes and we'll go back through it. Sell Salah, buy Take and Adeyemi. I wouldn't trade Salah for anyone. He's absolutely vital for Liverpool. I hope he retires at Liverpool. So, Dan, as an example, you wouldn't trade anyone for Salah. Okie dokie. Let me paint you a picture. Next summer, not this one coming, the following one, Salah leaves on a free and we need to replace him, but we only have 40 million quid. You still happy? Are you still going to be singing that Salah song when we've got not the ability to bring in somebody because we didn't get that money and he's going to leave now anyway? And we still have to find a replacement, but we just don't have the funds anymore to go for a superstar or to bring in 2 or 3 players who might take the burden. Is he still great then? You know, are you still going to be happy at that point? Because I wouldn't. I'd be fuming that we don't have money. So we can't have it every which way. There has to be some realm of rationality to these decisions. Lost too many frees. Ox, Bobby, Naby, Milner, Divock. Liverpool is a business and the money from Mo could secure the future. Exactly. And again, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. Because I don't think there'll ever be a chance we could get in excess of £100 million for a 31, 32-year-old with 1 year on his contract again. Like that is not a regular occurrence. Kane was one of the few. The money that Chelsea got for Eden Hazard when he went to Real Madrid was another one. They don't happen too often. So I get it. I've no doubt Klopp wants to keep him, by the way. No doubt in my mind Klopp wants to keep him. And I can see why fans want to keep him. I just have to draw a line somewhere and think, is it rational? And thank you for your super chat, by the way, Gary Smith. Appreciate your insight, mate. And I know, look, I get it's shitty. And I know it's not, you know, sitting here saying that. It doesn't fill me full of any pleasure to say it at all. But this is the way we are with the contracts. But I think the bigger conversation here for us as fans should be, how have we let this conversation happen again? Because we let it happen with Mane. Bobby ended up going for free. So the bigger question is, how are we allowing ourselves to be in these positions as a club where we're vulnerable to these type of things? And that would be the worrying factor for me in all of this. You know, because the players have to look after their own interests. I get that. They have a short career and either they want to experience lots of things or they need to, you know, be compensated financially for the rest of their lives. I get all that. But we're supposed to be clever. Our owners are supposed to be geniuses in the market. A lot of those players have ended up running down deals or leaving for free. Craig, will Mbappe be like David Beckham with United? In what sense? Kyle, mate? I don't know what you mean. Do you think he'll be a distraction? Is that what you mean? Like the persona, the celebrity will be a little bit too much? So part of me thinks yes, but then I think of who's our manager. And I keep saying this, if ever it came to the stage where we were signing Kylian Mbappe, it would only be after Klopp has been assured that it won't be a distraction. So I truly don't know, because we've never had anybody of that profile arrive at the football club. We've built them, you know. We've got our Luis Suarez, we've got our Fernando Torres, we've brought players into the club who were, you know, big on potential and known, but became these superstars. So I don't know. I can't remember bringing one in my lifetime at Liverpool. I'll never forgive these owners for making Klopp work with a hand tied behind his back. So, you know what though? As much as I get you, I can't help but feel a little bit more optimistic because of the way the Premier League are looking like they're sorting out the profit and loss, or the profit and sustainability. If that has teeth, I think we have the right owners. And I think the fact that the way they've operated over recent years will give us the advantage they've always hoped for, in that we will have some wiggle room to maybe look at the Chelsea situation with Caicedo, right? Remember, there was only so much money they could go to before they got into trouble. And that's where Liverpool came up with that number. They bid what they knew Chelsea, on the face of it, couldn't pay, because we had more wiggle room. So these are the type of situations that develop that allow us to go after players when other clubs are trying to move things around to see if it works. Then brilliant. Then we've got the owners who can see the benefit of that. But when we had this, what was like an arms race between countries, and Bowley spends £1 billion, I don't know how anyone's supposed to compete with that. Have I been watching Traitors? I cannot say I've ever heard of it, mate. No. What do you think about Wirtz replacing Salah? Florian Wirtz is a great footballer, and I'd have no problem dropping a load of money on Florian Wirtz. Sorry, let me just see this. Right. People have often asked me about the overlap before, and I've said I don't watch it. Now I'm glad I don't watch it. So I've just been sent this. Roy Keane on the overlap. I can't believe how bad Trent Alexander-Arnold is at defending. It's amazing how many people just run past him. It's like he's never played the position before. Shut the fuck up, you idiot. I'm sick of Keane now. He's just like a rent-a-mouth. Is this what it's become now? We're just hiring people to say stupid shit. That's it, is it? That's the level of insight and punditry we're getting. He just runs past people. He doesn't know how to defend. It's like he's never... Shut up, you absolute clown. Oh, fuck me. Oh my God, he's an idiot. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of having to listen to him. Like, everything was brilliant when he played, and everybody was amazing, and nobody ever did anything wrong, and they were all thorough professionals, and the blah, 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 fucking blah. We get it, Roy. You were good. Brilliant. We get it. We got that memo. But you're a shy pundit, mate. Absolutely god-awful shit. You give zero insight into the game technically, and you just run your mouth knocking people constantly. That is it. That's all you exist for. You're a rent-a-gob. It's wheel out the Irishman to spout shite and just not give any insight. We can all do that, dude. I do it every single week. We can all just say people are crap, but that's not what you're there for. You're there to give us your insight as a pro. What it was like at the level, what we could expect, little tweaks tactically, why he moved here, why that ball was played in there. But no, that's not what we get with Keno. We get rent-a-mouth. We get United are a shambles. We know that, Keane. We didn't need you to tell us that, pal. The rest of us have enough of a brain that we can look at it and know. Any chance of a bit of insight. It's just shite, honestly. And this is what we're all subjected to. Sky are basically turning into a poor YouTube channel. If you want mouthy people on, bring me on. I'll give you that mouthy nonsense, but that's all you can expect from me because I don't have the rest of the stuff to back it up. But I tell you what, give me the likes of a Neville talking about the game, or Thierry Henry, or do you know what? Freddie Ljungberg was brilliant. I had him on a Monday Night Football recently, and listening to him talk about the midfield and how they played under Wenger, it was eye-opening. It was beautiful. It was insightful. It was articulate. It's not, he looks like he can't defend. Looks like he's never played the position before. Fuck off, Roy. The last time we sold a player for 100 million, we went to another level. Klopp will not waste it. If Salah leaves, we're becoming stronger. Coutinho, money, anyone. And do you know what else gets me? Sorry, mate. And what else gets me about Keane? And I loved Keane playing for Ireland. Loved them. But it's like the other people around him just sit there and laugh because they haven't got a backbone. They haven't got a pair of balls to actually challenge him. And that annoys me. It annoys me because we know it's nonsense. We know he's full of it. We know he's saying it to get a cheap laugh. He's not good enough for his job, and that's the bottom line. And if Sky or ITV and anybody else keep paying this lad to talk shy, then fool on them. They're selling their customers short. Their viewers short. He's full of it. Full of it. Absolute spoofer, waffler. I'm sick of Keane. He adds fucking nothing to punditry. He's taken punditry back 15 years. Anyway, Team Shark Meg, thank you for your super chat, man. And about the Coutinho money, we spent that very well. Really well. And I think that's what the Newcastle executive was talking about when they said that they might have to sell one of their big boys. And they did, in fairness, point out that Coutinho sale. And look what we did with it. As you said, we brought in Alisson, we brought in Virgil van Dijk, and the rest is history. he hates Liverpool. He's as bitter as the Blue Noses. The thing is, though, Kevin, I'm wondering when he isn't. So, like, apart from when he's fawning over Ronaldo, because you can see the love in his eyes when he's fawning all over Ronaldo. But other than that, what does he ever say anything encouraging or positive or insightful? It's just like he wants to knock everyone at every opportunity. United are a shambles. The Glazers. All this crap. So how about a solution, Roy? Any chance? Liam Thomas said, football's biggest myth is... And I guarantee you, whoever was on that fucking overlap with him didn't have the balls to call him out on it. Because they just sit there and laugh when he spouts his shite. Cowards, a lot of them. Absolute pussies. Surrounding themselves by these gobby fools who actually contribute nothing to a conversation. Football's biggest myth is Trent can't defend, said Liam Thomas. At a young age, he had some of Europe's best wingers in his pocket. Since then, his role has changed and people forget. Exactly, Liam. I will sit here and say, open-minded, he's not the strongest defender in the world. But he's far from what he's been made out to be here by Keane. And yes, sometimes we lost a little bit in defence going forward. Absolutely. But he's also helped redefine a position. And that can't go unnoticed. And he's impacted games a lot more than most other right backs I can think of. And there have been some brilliant fullbacks in world football, don't get me wrong. But that's just lazy, stereotypical nonsense from Keane. Okay, so we've got a bit of news, a bit of breaking news on Mohamed Salah. And thank you, Mark, for sending this to me. So this comes from Elsam Magdi, at Elsam Magdi on social media if you want to look on X for yourselves. The post says, the Egyptian Football Federation announces the injury of Mohamed Salah, the national team captain, with a strain in the hamstring muscle, causing him to miss 2 matches in the African Cup of Nations against Cape Verde and in the round of 16 should Egypt qualify. So, again, we'll wait for further confirmation on this, but if this indeed is true, then it's not great for Egypt, but it's not detrimental either, because if Egypt can navigate their way through, then they should be okay. But 2 games is good news. You know, it's not the best possible news, but it's good news. And that was retweeted by Paul Joyce as well. So thank you so much, Mark, for that, mate. You're a gent. And if Paul Joyce retweeted it, you know, he doesn't retweet any old crap. We know Paul Joyce is solid. Great journalist. So yeah, thank you, Mark, on that one, mate. I really appreciate it. I tell you what, lads, I feel relieved. I feel relieved now for him as well, because you know how proud he is to play for his country, and you know that it's going to be killing him sitting on the bench anyway for the last game watching, but at least he knows if the lads can navigate through now, he'll have a rest and he'll be back then if they get to the round of 16 or past the round of 16. So yeah, that's certainly good news. I can live with 2 games, said Cyberfleet. I'm exactly the same, mate. Exactly the same. It's not great. It's not ideal that he's injured at all, but 2 games, you know, I think provides everybody with a little bit of a breather. Fabio scored for Hull. I'd seen that in the chat. Sorry, when I was ranting, and I did see people talking about Carvalho scoring a screamer. So apologies, I didn't get to it sooner. Roy on the overlap has taken the role of a nasty judge like on Strictly. It's not just on the overlap though. It's on ITV, it's on Sky, it's anything he's on. Like, almost every other pundit I can think of, be it Neville, be it Carragher, even Micah Richards, they break it down. They tell you, like, you can watch Neville and he'll tell you what he would do in this position, and he'll talk about the intricacies of why a player moves here, or same with Carragher, same with Micah Richards. But I never ever remember seeing that from Keane. I just don't. I only remember criticisms, lazy criticisms. Craig, I was reading Liverpool are linked with a centre-back from Feyenoord. I have no idea, dude. Sorry. I've got no idea. Craig, remember when Jose was in the studio giving tactical breakdowns, schooling Neville and Keane? They were sat there like numpties. Exactly. When I tune in to watch Monday Night Football or Super Sunday or whatever it is, I want to be informed. I want to be told why I'm sitting at home on the sofa, you know? I want to be given insight from people who see the thing in a way I can't comprehend as a normal fan. And a lot of the time we get that. Some of the insight we get from pundits, male and female, is fantastic. And then there's others, you're just thinking, why are you there? And Keane, for me, definitely falls into the why are you there category. Neto or Elise? Elise, for me. I do like Pedro Neto, but it certainly will be Elise for me. SWC Content said, should we Liverpool fans be nervous when looking at KDB playing amazing since coming back and Haaland coming back soon? So, firstly, I think it's a little bit over the top. Since coming back, he's played 20 minutes, really, that we're talking about of him really playing well. And look, I get you. It was a goal and a good assist in those cameos. Should we be nervous? Well, look, we should always expect the best of our opposition, right? You can't go into a league hoping that other people shit the bed and you get well. And look, we know Manchester City, when they're firing on all cylinders, are a formidable force. Absolutely. But I tell you what, I'd rather be in our position. We're top of the table. And they've got to chase down us. And they could do it. They could win the league, absolutely. But they're as worried about us, I think, as we are about them. And that's a sign of where we are as a club and what Jurgen has built and done. I think if you ask 9 out of 10 City fans, okay, you won't be 4 out of 5, because we can't say 9 out of 10 because, well, one, they're not the same statistic, but two, 10 City fans in one place. So let's say 4 out of 5 would say that they would view us as the biggest challengers. And I certainly think Pep Guardiola would say that. I think he has said that. Just tuned in. How about De Ligt from Bayern? So my problem with Matthias De Ligt would be the salary and no real stability. Like, you're talking about a player there, and I don't know what age De Ligt is now off the top of my head, but early 20s, probably 23, 24. And he's already been through Ajax, and then he's gone on to Juventus, and now he's at Bayern Munich. That's a lot of moving around for a young centre-back at a relatively young age, and why is it not panning out at these clubs? And Ajax panned out, obviously, and he got a big move, and Ajax got a big payday. But he's on a lot of money, and I think there's better value to be had than Matthias De Ligt for a club like Liverpool. In Norway, they say the Haaland is not back before February. That February's the date that I've been seeing as well, to be fair. So I'm going to record my team of the first half of the season as soon as this stream is over. And I can already see that people are going to be fuming at me because Haaland won't be in it. But he's not in it for a hate reason. He's in it because of how much football he's missed in the first half of the season. So somebody asked me earlier on to do it. I don't know if they meant my team of the calendar year or not, but I looked around to see what other people are doing, and I've done it for the first half of this campaign. So I'm going to record that later on, and that'll be going out tomorrow. Sorry for the bait name the other day, mate. Bit of banter. Oh, I'll get you, man. Don't give it a second thought, Kevin. That's give me those type of things, dude, any day over calling one of us an insulting name, man. I get it. Don't give it a second thought, mate. Appreciate you. Is KDB the closest player to Gerrard that you've seen? Oh yeah. You know, you can make an argument. Is he better? You know, he's right there. He's phenomenal. Weirdly, some of my favourite ever players in the Premier League have played for City, and it makes me feel dirty. Like, I love David Silva as well. Oh, he was an incredible player. Thierry Henry go down as one of my Premier League favourites as well, albeit he's a bit of a handball cheating SOB when he's playing with France, but incredible player. Craig, I've got a feeling City are going to get away with it. So I don't think they'll get away with it because, again, as I've said all along, I've spent a good bit of time reading about the charges, looking at what they're about, looking at the evidence that is at least in the public domain. And honestly, based off what I've read and seen myself, I don't think it's possible they get away with it all. I don't. Unless everything I've read is faked and is not actual documents that are part of that football leaks thing, and that's all horseshit. If any of that stuff is true, I find it very difficult to believe that they're going to be able to get away with it. As I said all the time, I don't expect them to be proved on all of them, but I would be gobsmacked if they got away with them. Why do you think rival fans have some weird City fetish? So I don't know if they have a weird City fetish or if they have an anti-Liverpool stance. It felt like, and again, this might be just me, but it felt like when Arsenal were in a title race, all of a sudden City were a problem. All of a sudden what they'd done was being questioned a lot more by Arsenal fans and London-centric pundits. Now all of a sudden, when we're back maybe as the most likely challengers, there's a lot more, oh well, we don't want Liverpool winning it. No. And that is petty in my eyes, because you're not caring about the game. You just don't want to see a Scouse or a Liverpool fan celebrating. That's weird, because if you profess to actually give a damn about sport and football in England and think that way, that's weird in my eyes. Like, I would happily celebrate with an Arsenal fan to say, well done, fair play mate, you beat us to it, we'll get you next year, but congratulations, enjoy your Premier League trophy. Because again, it's about respect and about it. Nobody likes losing or coming second, but it's part of sport to congratulate the victor, unless shenanigans. And for all the years we lost and United won titles, I would talk to my mates and I'd say, well done, fair play, we'll get you next year. Same with Arsenal, same, not really with Chelsea actually, a bit more annoyed during the Abramovich era about that. There's a huge anti-Liverpool stance in England. So again, it's not my place to go into this in too much detail, but I feel like because Liverpool as a city and as a group of people have snubbed the government and monarchy for very, very understandable reasons, other people take that as an affront to everything the country stands for, without, I think, giving due consideration to perhaps why the good people of Liverpool feel this way and what they have been subjected to over the years. And I don't know all of it. I don't. But there are people who speak very well on this subject. And it seems to be acceptable to still take the piss out of Scousers and talk about them being thieves and talk about them being it's never their fault and all these other lazy tropes that you see thrown around. And that seems to be still okay. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I was watching IFL TV. And every time I watch IFL TV, if I see one of the Smith brothers on there, I watch it because I'm a big fan of the Smith brothers. They're a great family. And I've enjoyed watching them box over the years. And you go into the comments straight away, and it's always straight to the slagging off Scousers, calling them bitter, and all these other lazy shit that just wouldn't cut it, wouldn't be accepted in any other walk of life or by any other people. And it really, I don't know why certain people are fair game and others are rightly protected. I don't get it why Scousers are fair game for everyone. It really boils me blood. And I'm not even Scouse. Didn't a lot of people emigrate from Ireland? Yes. So the boat went from Dublin and it landed in Liverpool. So when you got off the boat from Ireland at those days, Liverpool was the first port you came to, hence why so many people from Ireland would have settled there straight away. And that's what pisses me off when Scousers call me an embarrassment and stuff as well. It's like they knew anything about me, they'd know how much I value and respect Scousers and the city of Liverpool. So when I see them go in on me sometimes, I feel like, fuck you. I'm always defending the city and the people because they're great people. And then they just, sometimes lazy people just have a go at me for no reason without even having ever spoken to me. Fabio Carvalho got man of the match. Sweet. That's class. Right, really quick before we finish up for the day. I want to just go back to the news. So, on the Gonzalo Inacio stuff, because I did promise I'd recap it for people. So, O Jogo, who are a newspaper in Portugal, they say that Portuguese defender and Sporting Lisbon defender Gonçalo Inacio is holding out for a move to Liverpool. They say that he's got a release clause of 52 million, he's 22 years of age. And they go on to say the clubs like Manchester United, Newcastle and Real Madrid are claimed to be tracking the player, but it's understood Inacio would favour a transfer to Anfield if that becomes possible. And the article also said the January move is unlikely. And that all makes sense to me. It's always nice to hear someone's holding out for Liverpool, right? It's always good to hear. But again, I'm still a bit confused. If he was the target, why we didn't do it last summer. What number would you sell Trent at? There isn't one. Honestly, there isn't one. I think it's vitally important that people like Trent stay at Liverpool. Because you need that local heartbeat where possible. And Trent is going to be Mr. Liverpool. So, no, there isn't a number. Now, there would have been a number about 18 months ago. I'm not going to lie to you. I was very open to selling him 18 months ago. But he's evolved in that new role under Jurgen, and I feel like he's the first name on the team sheet now alongside Alisson and Verge. Do you think Diaz leaves in the summer? Don't know, Andy. I don't know, mate. Honestly, I don't know if we're only thinking about this because of the stuff about Barcelona previously, or if there's something else. So, to give you an example, I did read an article, and I think I read it out on the show, where I can't remember who it was, but some outlet had said that Diaz and Gakpo were basically potentially going to be sold next summer. They said that they haven't fulfilled the potential or whatever. I'm paraphrasing the article because I don't have it to hand, but it shocked me, especially here in the Gakpo part. So the honest answer is I don't know, because there also has to be a willing buyer. And, you know, you'd look at Barcelona, but then I don't know if Barcelona have money. Like, would they be able to pay what Liverpool would want? And also, there should be a Barca tax for Liverpool. They should have to pay more. So, I don't know. I don't want to lose him. I have no interest in actively trying to sell him, but I'm trying to think with a view to next summer. Like, if Mo stays and we brought in Elise, let's say, would I be open to it then? Maybe, because I think we could play Gakpo or Darwin on the left. And if you had Salah, I still stand over what I say about Salah being central. I think then Elise on the right, or Elise rotating with Salah. Maybe then at that point. What are we going to do if we have to sell Salah? We'll hopefully get as much as we can. Hopefully reinvest it well. I mean, we don't want a situation where we lost Luis Suarez and ended up with Mario Balotelli and Ricky Lambert. That type of situation can't arise again. But to be fair to the recruitment team and the manager, I wouldn't expect it would. If it meant we get Mbappe, alright, I'm going to say this honestly. Outside of, I'd sell any of the forwards to get Mbappe. Can't lie, I would. Darwin and Mo would be last on those lists, but would I sell Diaz to get Mbappe? Yes. Would I sell Jota to get Mbappe? Yes. Would I sell Gakpo to get Mbappe? Yes. Would I sell Mo to get Mbappe? Yes. Because of Mo's age. and that's it. And I would find it weird if anyone said no to that. Because with Mbappe, you could have 4, 5, 6 years of him doing bits. Whereas whatever happens with Mo, best case scenario is he has 2 years left, really. I think maybe 2.5 at the top level. I'd love to see Mbappe, Salah and Darwin. Oh, mate. Oh. Even for a year. Imagine. Oh. Imagine that being read out at Anfield. For Liverpool! And then we go to the team. We get to the front line and we're like, number 11, Mohamed Salah. Number 9, Darwin Nunez. Number, I don't know, insert number here. Kylian Mbappe. Oh. That would be amazing. I don't think it'll ever happen, but it would be amazing. Can I get the news on Inacio? I literally went through it a minute ago, dude, but no problem because you asked so nicely. Ojogo in Portugal are reporting that he has turned down Newcastle and that he is holding out for Liverpool, and that it's unlikely that it will happen in January. They also link Real Madrid, Manchester United and Newcastle again as other interested parties. But yeah, the big story, I guess, and I think this one's up on LFC Transfer Room as well. They say from Ojogo, Gonzalo Inacio has rejected an offer from Newcastle as he's currently awaiting an offer from Liverpool, Madrid or United. LFC have already reached out to his agents, but they aren't likely to pay 52 million this month, more likely in the summer. Oh, lads, I'm sorry, I'm still caught up thinking about that Mbappe, Salah and Darwin front line. Oh, imagine trying to defend against them. Best of luck. You'll never see Mbappe and Salah. I know. You're right, we won't. I agree with you. But imagine. You got to imagine. James Pearce also posted that Salah post. So I think we can take that that's as reliable as we can get then. So for those who are late and haven't heard, Mark sent me on something a few moments ago that should make us all happy. It said the Egyptian Football Federation announces the injury of Mohamed Salah, the national team captain, is a strain of the hamstring muscle, causing him to miss 2 matches in the African Cup of Nations against Cape Verde, and if they should qualify the round of 16. So 10 days, let's say, is the prognosis. So it won't affect Liverpool at all, unless, of course, something happens later in the tournament. But this specific thing, good news. You know, it looks like it's not something we need to worry about, which, thank God, is what we hope for. Craig, if Mbappe joined, he could wear 29. It's the number he wore at Monaco when he joined PSG. Thank you for that, Harry. Because I won't lie, bud, I have been thinking, what number might you wear? Because I'm not one who likes taking numbers off players that already have a shirt at the club. I don't think that's proper order unless the player offers it up themselves. But we have 7s taken at Liverpool, as we know. I would have loved if Liverpool had sent its medical team. So am I wrong, Ronald? Or did Liverpool not previously send a couple of medical personnel over with Mo? Was it the World Cup we spoke about earlier on? The 20 or the 18 World Cup, was it? I think somebody mentioned earlier on the one that Mo was brought back from injury soon. I think Liverpool sent a couple of medical personnel over with him, or at least I have a recollection of it. Maka would offer it, I'm sure. Maka wears 10. Mbappe would surely want 7. So it would have to be Lucho that offers it up. Who are the ex-players that you wish played under Klopp? Gerrard, Mascherano, Alonso, Suarez, Torres, Hippier, Finnan. Although we would have no, because we have Trent at right. I don't know why I'm about to say this, but I feel like Klopp would have really liked Momo Sissoko. I just don't know why. I just feel Klopp would have really been a fan of Momo Sissoko. Coy, yeah, Dirk Kuyt would have been. Klopp would have absolutely loved Dirk Kuyt. Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. He would have been right up Jurgen's street. Daniel Agger as well, yeah. But no, I think Coy is the best show. You can just see him being Klopp's dream. Like, you know, we know how much Klopp loved Milner for all the reasons, the professionalism, the work rate, all of that. He would have, Dirk Kuyt would have been Klopp's Energizer bunny. Craig, what do you think about Czech players playing for Liverpool in the past? Baros, Schmitz or Berger? Love your channel, big fan. Thank you, by the way, my man. Appreciate that. I had the pleasure of meeting Vladimir Smitzer. Lovely guy. Paddy Berger, I won't lie to you, mate. I was just only ever jealous of how handsome and good looking he was, and the fact that he could play football pretty damn well. And Milan Baros was an interesting one. I'll always think fondly of Milan Baros at Liverpool, but it was a weird one. I don't know if everybody will think the same way about Baros, but he always worked hard, Milan Baros. But yeah, I mean, they've all made good contributions to the football club, my man. Sissoko was a baller until he got that eye injury. I loved him. I loved Momo Sissoko. I thought he was brilliant. Risa. Oh yeah, I think John Arne Risa would have been up Kloppo Street with that type of marauding left back as well. Yeah, I can see Klopp would have liked... I think Klopp would have actually made Risa a better player. Over the last few months, you've sold me on the Mbappe dream. Oh, lads. Look, I get it. We're dreamers. I know. We have to have the conversation and say it's unrealistic, but it's not impossible. And that's the part that I think some people refuse to even acknowledge. Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson was an interesting one. You know, I think I had a bit of a weird love-hate relationship with Glenn Johnson. But there was definitely a very, very good player in there on his day. Very, very good. Have you ever seen the video on YouTube, Balak gets Momo'd? No, I haven't. But if nothing else, that's the best name for a video. Balak gets Momo'd. That's just a class name for a video. Right, my friends. I'm going to say goodnight to you all, and I will see you on Sunday, because I'm not going to be live at all tomorrow. But I am going to record my team of the first half of the season, which is going to go up on YouTube tomorrow, so do check it out. Also, don't forget to check out the Clips channel, if you can. And I want to give a shout out to Oosh as well. Don't forget, they've launched a brand new website just this week, so do go over and check out Oosh. You can get 10% off any of the Oosh competitions by using our discount code AA10. They are the home of giveaways, whether it's cars, cash, tech, holidays, or those all-important football club packages. Our good friends at Oosh have always got you covered, and they are back bigger and better than ever. So thank you for that. And also, again, last shout as well, Boston, March 22nd. If you're in that neck of the woods, we'd love to see you. Have a great weekend. I appreciate you giving up your evening again to have a chat with me, and I will catch up with you people on Sunday at 3:30 for the watch along of the Bournemouth game. Be well, have a good weekend, and thank you again. Bye bye.